glad to give them the full and complete list if they're willing to respond to the show. Somehow I tend to doubt that. You're taking me in the briefing room if I say, hey, I have Sean Hannity's list for you. Let's just, what page do you want to start on? What are they going to say, Peter? Tell me. I can tell you during the break. He wasn't nice to you on one occasion. I do remember that, and I know exactly what he said. And I would assume what he said to you, he thinks a lot worse of me. But you're a reporter, and I am a host. Very different positions. Anyway, you're doing a great job. We're very proud of you, Peter Dixon. Thank you.
Crazy, bro. Yeah. Hey, put that straight to tape, man.
Yeah, I like it.
It is what it is. Truth matters. Stop bullshitting yourself.
Lives of our children. In my next term, we will build a great iron dome over our country, a dome like has never seen before, a state-of-the-art missile defense shield that will be entirely built in America. I will end the Biden inflation nightmare, and we will end it quickly. And I will repeal crooked Joe Biden's insane electric vehicle mandate, and we will drill, baby, drill. We will drill, baby, drill.
Now, while President Trump was campaigning, Joe Biden is planning to travel to his beach home in Delaware tonight after a fundraiser in Northern Virginia before heading on to Camp David on Thursday for some much-needed R&R and a lot of debate prep headed into next week's showdown that we'll cover here on the Fox News channel. Here with reaction, Fox News contributor, we have Kellyanne Conway and another contributor, Ari Fleischer. Good to see you both. All right, I may be wrong. My best guess, educated guess, is that we've only seen Joe Biden kind of jacked up and very energetic during the State of the Union address, Kellyanne. Only time we've ever seen it. We didn't see it before, and we haven't seen it since. I expect that Joe Biden to show up at the debate. That means, I guess, a lot of Red Bull, a lot of caffeine pills, whatever. Would you expect the same?
Probably. They're going to need to goose him and juice him for him to even be able to stand there for 90 minutes without the assistance of President Obama or his wife, or getting away with shaking hands with the air, or frankly a teleprompter. We haven't seen him much without a teleprompter. And you know how Donald Trump is preparing for the debate? You just saw it in Racine, Wisconsin. You saw it in the South Bronx. You see it in Wildwood, New Jersey. You see it in West Palm Beach. He goes and talks to the people about the record of accomplishments for 4 years and then the vision for the next 4. That's the best way to prepare. Now, as for Biden's agility, acuity, ability, and energy, that's going to be in question. But I think that CNN, which probably thinks it's doing a civic service by muting Donald Trump's mic, is actually doing him a big favor. Let's all have Joe Biden speak. I can't wait, Ari and Sean, to watch Joe Biden try to speak. Let him perform in front of, feet away from the very imposing, intimidating Donald Trump. I don't care what the Democrats say. Let him mumble, stumble, bumble, and not be so humble with Trump right
now. Concealed this critical effectiveness information from the public. It's not informed consent to me. How can we give informed consent if we're not informed? Are you going to give informed consent? Well, but by the way, you're not going to be informed. It's a contradiction in terms. And I know so many of you are so angry about this, especially those who suffered serious adverse events, or family members or loved ones that have suffered serious adverse events. That's why I'm hoping for clarity from this. Pfizer said its COVID-19 vaccines would prevent transmission of COVID-19, even although it knew it never studied the effect of its vaccine on transmission of COVID-19. We know that from various sources that this wasn't part of the trial. Because as we know, they had to proceed, what was the expression, at the speed of science. Never to work out what that meant. Let me know if you know what it means, because I haven't got a clue. Right. To keep the public from learning the truth, Pfizer worked to censor speech on social media that questioned Pfizer's claim about the COVID-19 vaccine and claims thereof censorship. And I think it's fair to say there's been some censorship during this pandemic. Let me know what you think. Pfizer's misrepresentation of a safe and effective vaccine resulted in record company revenue of approximately $75,000 million on COVID-19 vaccine sales in just 2 years. Nice bit of cash, if you can get it, I would have said. $75 billion. Incredible. Pfizer's actions and statements relating to its COVID-19 vaccine violated previous consent judgments with the state of Kansas. So it looks like Kansas precedents say or intimate for the court to decide that this is inconsistent with Kansas precedents. And I can't really imagine the situation will be too different in other states. I imagine all states, all countries, of course, have got precedents. Things that have gone before. That's how a lot of English law works, apparently, on precedent. Pfizer's actions and statements relating to its COVID-19 vaccine violate the Kansas Consumer Protection Act. So that could be the way that it was caught. Of course, we can assume that the indemnity clauses that the Big Pharma negotiated were done by pretty smart lawyers. I assume pretty well-paid lawyers. But of course, clarity often comes through other means. Justice often comes through other means. Famously, of course, there's any relationship at all, of course, but Al Capone was in prison for tax evasion, rather than being one of the worst gangsters in the world. Pfizer must be held accountable for falsely representing the benefits of its COVID-19 vaccination while concealing and suppressing the truth about its vaccine safety risks. Waning effectiveness and inability to prevent transmission, according to the submission. And I'll just remind you again, I'm going directly from this document from the state of Kansas. And we'll be hearing from Chris Bobach in a minute, the Attorney General. Just make a few more points first. 28 million Kansans heard Pfizer's very strong words, misrepresentation about COVID-19 vaccines. In May 2021, Pfizer advertised to Kansas on Facebook about its life-saving vaccines and its cures. Well, it's a bit strange now, really, because vaccines don't cure infections, they prevent infections. But that's what it says. It says they're making claims of cure. Really quite bizarre. I'll give you a few more of these. I've got a lot, but I'll just give you a few. Pfizer took advantage of Kansans' fear. Took advantage. Surely no one would take advantage of people's fear, would they? Of COVID-19 and desire for safety. Of course people desire safety. What's wrong with that? By offering a safe and effective COVID-19 vaccine while concealing, suppressing and omitting material, information that undermined its safety and effectiveness claims in Kansas. Many other parts were good do. Pfizer used confidentiality agreements to conceal critical data relating to the safety and effectiveness of the COVID vaccine. Pfizer has kept data hidden through confidentiality agreements with governments around the world. Data hidden. We ask for data to be fully transparent. Pfizer used an extended study timeline to conceal critical data relating to safety and effectiveness of its COVID vaccines. Scientists were outraged, and many of you are outraged, that they still could not review Pfizer's COVID-19 study data. Pfizer's pivotal COVID-19 vaccine trial was funded by the company and designed, run, analysed, and authorised by Pfizer employees. The company and contract research organisation that carried out the trial holder, so the company that carried out the contractors, they hold all the data. So we would want the data to be released into the public domain so our own statisticians of the people, and we have quite a few of them, can analyse this data. We want Norman Fenton and Claire Craig to look at this and say, well, this is what it really means. And several others, there are great analysts that could be mentioned that are very keen to do this. Pfizer used freedom of information denial and delay to conceal critical data, very well, interestingly worded, relating to the safety and effectiveness of COVID-19 vaccines. Pfizer destroyed the vaccine control group, which will conceal critical data relating to the safety and effectiveness of its COVID-19 vaccines. Pfizer planned to follow COVID-19 vaccine participants, both vaccine and placebo group, for 24 months. It's perfect sense, followed up for 24 months, check on the safety data. So if you had the experimental group given the experimental vaccine, the experimental gene sequence, compare that to the placebo, follow them up for 2 years, and now how are we doing over 2 years? No. This stage, they destroy the control group, therefore comparisons are simply not possible over a prolonged time period, which of course is completely essential. Once the FDA approved Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine through an emergency use authorization in December 2020, Pfizer unblinded the study participants. Well, if it's unblinded, it's no longer a blind controlled trial, is it? And offered vaccine placebo recipients, so those that had the placebo, the option to receive the current Pfizer vaccine. Of course, people were frightened at this time. And of the 21,921 vaccine trial participants who received the placebo, more than 20,000 placebo recipients decided to receive it. In other words, you were left with a control group of under 2,000. Now, this goes on quite significantly, but if that's given you a taster for it, then fine. Do look at it for yourself. Now, I must say this document is written in pretty plain English. I was, you can read it and understand it. Really pretty clear. And it goes on to talk about many other things. Do take a look at it for yourself. Now, I was going to play a clip of Chris Kopak now, but I think this video is probably long enough. I'll put that in a separate video, and you can view that for yourself, talking about Chris Kopak, being the Kansas Attorney General, talking about this. But we'll leave that there for now, and thank you for watching. And the ability of this to be a precedent around the world, I believe, is huge. Let me know what you think, and if this is going to contribute towards greater clarity. But for now, thank you for watching.
That was Dr. John, a real doctor.